Hypothesis. The legend of quiet sleep reappears in Wano? Hello everyone, welcome back to Top Shounen. Finally One Piece will enter the Wano arc next year. In the following year, I will introduce you to a sleeping legend in the One Piece world. This legend will be the biggest enemy ever to get in the way of Luffy and his teammates. Perhaps he is related to Whitebeard. By the way, it seems that I said a bit too much. Believe it or not, the Marineford arc will be adorable compared to that. These are the words of Author Oda himself, during Jump Festar 2017, but until 2019, we just know what that legendary sleeping is. This is definitely a pirate of the rock, not completely Odin as recently. As soon as Odin appeared in chapter 1007, it was widely assumed that he was that sleeping legend, because of his connection to Whitebeard. However, Odin was not the enemy that stopped Luffy, it was Kaido and Big Mom. However, these two emperors have never been able to sleep peacefully. Author Oda is clearly referring to a different name. Rock DZ is dead, so he can no longer get in the way of Luffy, maybe just a flashback of Kaido's past. Whitebeard was once in the Rock Pirates, and it was smashed 38 years ago. If it were to be said to be quiet sleep, it would have become a legend since a long time ago. Currently, Big Mom and Kaido alliances have recreated the old rock, becoming the biggest obstacle ever for Luffy and his teammates. However, is Oda trying to mention a specific name, or the rock in general? Because of the phrase this legend, we are extremely confused. However, I personally still think that this sleeping legend is not Kaido or Big Mom. If it is not Rock, it will be another character. Specifically, it is the Golden Lion Shiki, a powerful pirate comparable to the Pirate King Gold Roger. Today, Top Shounen will join you in learning all about this sleeping legend in One Piece. 1. Shiki and the Kurozumi clan. First of all, let's take a look at Shiki's appearance. Shiki wears traditional Japanese clothes, mainly yellow, underneath is a black shirt, and a moss green belt. Unfortunately, he is not a green lion, but a golden lion, with blonde hair and yellow shirt, so the degree is even higher than Sanji. But it is not as important as the information. Shiki's design model is based on a shogun. Thereby, I think Shiki is closely related to Wano Kingdom, even once a citizen of this kingdom. And through chapter 965 as well as anime episode, I have more basis to predict Shiki is one of the fugitives from Wano Kingdom, possibly related to the Kurozumi clan. First, many decades ago, Shimotsuki Kozaburo took Wado Ikimonji with him out of Wano Kingdom. And he had a son, Koshiro of Zo, a grandchild who, if still alive, would be in his early 20s. 3 generations lived outside of Wano. During that time there were more fugitive strange. Especially ambitious people like the Golden Lion Shiki. He is not willing to live in a country that is restrictive and secluded. But that is the case when Shiki has thoughts like Odin, or Shimotsuki Kozaburo. And assuming he ran away from Wano for another reason, there's a high chance he was avoiding the enemy. And in Wano, apart from the Kurozumi clan that was being hunted and destroyed, we don't know of any other family conflicts. So, the most plausible theory up to now, is that Shiki is also of the Kurozumi clan. Because like Shanks and Kaido, no one knows his full name, on the wanted sheet only recorded the Golden Lion Shiki. Therefore, any theory could be made. If he was not from the Shimotsuki clan, it would be the Kurozumi clan. But with that personality, ambition, I think Shiki and Orokai share the same blood. Years ago, the head of the Kurozumi clan poisoned other lords in a plot to take over Wano's power. When Orokai's grandfather was punished by killing himself, the Kurozumi clan became the top target of murder, including the sorceress Higurashi. This old woman had escaped from the Wano kingdom, so she knows a lot about the outside world, especially pirates and devil fruit. It was Kurozumi Higurashi who gave Orokai the mythical Hebai fruit, and at the same time plotted to lend him Kaido's hand to rule the Wano kingdom. Certainly the time she was outside, she joined some pirate crew, possibly the Rock Ice itself. The time when Higurashi met Orokai in chapter 965, was 28 years ago, just 10 years after the Rock disintegration. It was possible that they and Shiki were joining the band together, but after the clash, Roger and Garp were scattered everywhere. Shiki with inherent strength, continued to recruit soldiers forever, establishing a fleet of powerful golden lions. As for Higurashi and Semimaru aiming to avenge the family, they returned to Wano. With the power bestowed on the main no Mi, she was able to perfectly impersonate the looks of others. Kurozumi Higurashi used it to deceive the lords, by impersonating Kojiki Odin and Tsukiyaki. Then using their image to support Orokai, the result is that Odin is dead. Higurashi says that he has traveled many places in his life. This shows that she has a basic knowledge of the world government, notorious pirates, etc. Second, this sorceress has the ability to imitate Shiki's face, as seen in Manga chapter 965, and anime episode 965. This face is very similar to the younger Shiki, wanting to be transformed into someone who eats. The left main must touch that person. And Higurashi transforms into a young Shiki, which leads us to hypothesize that they both escaped from Wano, even worked as a pirate in a crew. Shiki is still young, of course, probably before the God Valley incident. After that, the rock disintegrated, Higurashi no longer saw Shiki again, so he could only transform into a young man. If she is indeed related to the rock ice, it is not known whether the Golden Lion Shiki will return. 2. The Golden Lion returns. 2 years ago, the legend of the impregnable prison impel down was overthrown, by 2 pirates also worthy of the legendary name, Golden Lion Shiki. Due to Molly's secret escape without anyone knowing, he is recorded as the first prisoner to successfully escape. Shiki's way of doing it is true that not everyone dares, it is cut off 2 legs to get rid of sea rocks. So far we've just seen more crazy guy Zoro planning to do it, thankfully it hasn't been successful, otherwise a new version of Shiki will be born. And the original Golden Lion is currently hiding somewhere in the New World. After he failed Whitebeard's solicitation, he said, "I think I will hide it for a while, then give it to this soft and frail world, seeing how terrifying a real pirate would be like." Perhaps in Shiki's mindset, the pirate's nature is brutal, robbery and murderous, unlike Roger Whitebeard. Besides betrayal, as Kaido and Queen say when it comes to the so-called essence. He plans to spread fear into the world, realizing the unfinished plan, before being defeated by Roger. And Shiki went to the #1 scientist under her, Dr. Indigo. Let's get the gist of it. Indigo. How many more years will it take? Will my plan bear fruit? Well, let's see. 10, 15, no. 20 years at the earliest, very well. Then 20 years later I will carry out the plan, to let everyone in the world see hell. I believe in Shiki's comeback a lot, because unlike Douglas Bullet, he was officially mentioned in the manga, not a side story character. In addition to being told that he used to be in the rock in chapter 957, Shiki is drawn in detail in chapter 0. If Garp specializes in hunting down the Pirate King Gold Roger, Sengoku once shouted that Luffy's grandfather was not allowed to come in, for Shiki. It is his duty. This proves Shiki's formidable power. In addition, when Author Oda mentioned that the legend of sleeping peacefully woke up, and previously mentioned Shiki's plan, he is more likely to make a comeback. The time when Shiki escaped, was 22 years ago, meaning that the original plan was 2 years behind schedule. But watch Garp and Sengoku's conversation, we have to be more careful to be. He is not a peace-seeking man. However, at this time, he probably hasn't moved at all, because he always prepares well before doing. Garp knows Shiki very well, maybe 2 years ago he didn't feel the right time was right, so he decided to wait for more. Ancient people have a sentence, work in human, into the natural is bared. No matter how perfect Shiki's plan is, if it isn't right, it will still fail. 2 years ago, the world was at peace, balance was maintained until the climactic battle broke out. At that time, Whitebeard stood at the height of the pirates, yet still lost to the navy. The 2 legends Garp and Sengoku did not need to fight. I guess Shiki will hear the situation, he knows that the navy is very strong, wanting to dominate the world must wait for an event to turn things around. From the past until now, only the era of creating heroes, but extremely rare heroes create era, Shiki could not be as great as Roger. And he decided to be patient, because Shiki possesses a rare personality that pirates have, worthy of being a leader, with the appearance of a shogun. If an opportunity is needed, then it is now, when the world is in chaos. The balance has been broken, it is not known how strong the SSG is, but losing war is becoming a potential threat. Not to mention the revolutionaries beat directly to Mary Giose, declared war on the world government. Followed by the 4 Yonko working together with the young pirates of the worst generation, are aiming for the One Piece treasure. All these forces create a world full of chaos, creating conditions for Shiki to return. In chapter 981, Big Mom has a secret conversation with someone. If it is not colluding with CP0, then only Shiki remains. Because no matter what he, Big Mom, Kaido used to share together, now the remnants of the rock are gathered. With Kaido's statement, making Wano a paradise for pirates, I think Shiki can return home. Shiki's comeback will coincide with everything Author Oda has teased from the beginning up until now. Most of the beast pirates have created treason, 500 Gifter is also greatly captured by Odama. Not to mention the people of Wano, our allies' force, was too overwhelming compared to the enemy. The 2 emperors, 3 Okanban and 5 Tobi Rappo will have to fight against too many opponents, which is a disadvantage. Because if he could fight the Mafia alone, Kaido wouldn't have to deceive Odin, then defeat Hyogoro first, then dare to fight. Odin was stronger than Kaido at that time, the 9 red scabbards were also very strong, but when they ran into the enemy forces too many, they still lost. Likewise, the old man at Marineford was shot or slashed a lot by the soldiers, despite being able to endure it, and smashing them, but when he had bled after meeting the admiral, he still lost. Unexpectedly, King ordered Tobirapo to prevent anyone from getting on top of his skull, as Kaido fought against the Red Scarves. The large number of troops is an advantage. Without Jack, the team will hit the Kaido Dam, putting the red roses in the back arm. If that happened, it was unlikely he would be able to defeat them so quickly. Similar to the present, seeing too many enemies, including scary enemies standing behind waiting for me to be tired, the ability of Big Mom to turn the ship is high. With each Kaido and his commanders left, it is clear that the Wano arc will end in no grandeur. That Author Oda said compared to the Wano Kingdom section, the summit battle is going to be very adorable. So Shiki brought in the fleet, along with his plan, that would make the battle more balanced and engaging. In addition, we need to understand that Shiki is very strong, not inferior to the Yonko. It must be said that, on the internet too many people put down Shiki, because watching Strong World saw him defeated by Luffy. This is really ridiculous, it is non-canon, not the original work of Author Oda. In SBS, Author Oda said that he delegated all of the characters in One Piece to the anime production side. Uncle only participates in the creative stage when there is a new character, such as Bullet. And Data Book is written by Author Oda himself, published by reputable publishers and recorded differently. The pirates were flying on Par with the old Pirate King. Before the era of pirates began, he was the leader of the Golden Lion pirate crew, going up against Roger. It is clear that the movie Strong World was too underestimating Shiki, affecting many One Piece fans who did not read manga, or buy Data Book. A legendary pirate, probably second only to Rock D. Zebek and Whitebeard in the Rock, and comparable to Roger, is it true that Rayleigh solo with him and returned the whole life? While the anime has a scene where Luffy in Gear 4 is just like the sand sack of the Dark King, but in the absence of Haki, defeats someone better than Rayleigh, clearly a farce. I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to lash out, but the way Hancock, Smoker and all the supernovas beat Bullet, it's much more convincing than Luffy didn't know Haki, beat Shiki. We will ignore the movie Strong World, but judge his strength through the manga, as well as the Data Book. Shiki is a double swordsman. Author Oda has confirmed in SBS that both are great treasures. He possessed the great skill of a swordsman, being able to kill a mountain of marines before meeting Garp and Sengoku. When he was strong, he could match these legends. Although both Sengoku and Garp teamed up, it took a whole day to defeat Shiki, but half of the city was destroyed. The fact that he cut his legs to escape prison after 2 years, proves that his stamina is also extremely tough. But the most classic is that he is still alive, even though the rudder is stabbed directly in the head. In addition, Shiki also owns the Fuwa fruit, a Paramecium-type devil fruit. Making anything he touches will lose its gravity and fly, except for living creatures. Shiki says that whatever he made it float, it would float until he cancelled the order, or when he lost consciousness. He made the ships, even the vast island fly up as proof. Shiki seems to have awakened this devil fruit. He displayed a variety of complex skills to manipulate the surroundings, even manipulating even the smallest elements, such as debris and massive snowflakes, that was used for many purposes in both attack and defense. Not to mention Haki, which Luffy didn't know about before. I bet Shiki's armed Haki is also of Rayleigh's level. So if he appeared as Luffy's rival, this fight would be much more authentic than the movie. However, the movie has long aired Shiki. This is an economic problem, since they have paid royalties. It is not known how the manga will turn out. This must be waiting for Author Oda. Above is my whole thought about the Golden Lion Shiki. If you like this video, please leave like, share, and subscribe to a channel to support Top Shounen. Goodbye and see you again.
Yeah.